We need more investment in the tourism plant, and we need more investment in the areas of solar energy and water conservation and recycling activities. China is a possible source of such investments.
After we left in October 2010, over 3.6 million Chinese actually visited the Barbados Pavilion.
I think tourism should be an important sector worth working on tirelessly because nowadays there are many Chinese international travelers per year. So they are traveling all over the world.
The People's Republic of China is the world's most populous state with over 1.3 billion citizens. It's also the world's second largest economy after that of the USA. It's also the world's second largest importer of goods. It's no wonder then that in December 2011, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs hosted a one-day seminar which brought both the public and private sector together under one objective, that of engaging China. Preparing the Barbados tourism industry for Chinese visitors was a key area examined.
The World Travel and Tourism Organization is saying that Chinese outbound tourists will grow by 20%. That is exponential in terms of international tourist arrivals. They also are saying that at the moment in 2011, the Chinese visitor spends an average about 2,000 US dollars per visitor. I think that's an opportunity to explore. We also have a growth in the luxury segment because there's a growing middle class private sector engagement in China. And we have persons who want to travel. I think if you group all of those trends, but there's a tremendous pent-up demand in China that we need to begin to take advantage of.
Given the distance from China to Barbados, one wonders, is it really worth the effort to pursue the Chinese market?
So I don't think we should be wedded to our traditional market so much that we don't begin to look outside, because if you recognize with the APD, there is no real fidelity to the region in terms of the UK. So I think we have to begin to be a lot more aggressive in pursuing new markets.
We will be catering for to the high-end market, but also we're also looking at cruise as well. Cruise and stay is also very important as well. Many Chinese take cruises, so therefore they like to travel to multi-destinations. So why not cruise and also travel to various islands as well, including Barbados.
But just how many Chinese are currently visiting our shores?
At the moment, we are basically averaging about 500 Chinese visitors per year for Barbados. But therefore, if we just require 0.000000001, and that those numbers then will dramatically increase.
I think that we need to, first of all, do some serious market research on who is this Chinese visitor. And that market research should tell us where can we find the visitor in terms of occupation, what is their demographic, where do they live, how do they book, what sort of activities do they engage in once they come to your destination. How do we ensure that they have an enjoyable experience? I think those are some of the things in terms of preparing for the visitor we need to do. The second thing that we need to do is to enhance our product. Having found out what the Chinese visitor likes, you're not particularly tailor-making your product to suit them, but you might be expanding the type of product that Barbados offers to include them.
There must be some reward worth the journey. So you have to look at what niche you're looking at. Are you looking for, and what kind of psychographics are you looking at? Are you looking at someone who sees themselves on a affluent state, or are you looking for someone who nurtures family or relationships? Are you looking for somebody who's interested, who's like say a newlywed, somebody who wants to go to Barbados on a vacation? Young people who are very adventurous would come here for honeymooning. So things dealing with honeymoons would do well.
The spending power and travel habits of the Chinese make their country a lucrative target for the Caribbean and Barbados.
Chinese likes multi-destination travel. And I think the Caribbean, you know, it is a multi-destination region. So how do we capitalize on that? I was hearing earlier about the BVI, that when you say BVI, there's instant recognition in China. So do we get the three Bs coming together to do a multi-destination, BVI, Bahamas, Barbados, and provide a Chinese visitor with that fantastic Caribbean experience?
Recognizing the opportunities, officials from the Barbados Tourism Authority met with Chinese travel agents during the 2010 Shanghai Expo and Trade Exposition in China.
We had meetings both in Shanghai as well as Beijing with over 20 travel agents to operators, and the feedback has been very positive. In relation to that, we explored these agencies or tour operators having programs into Barbados. At the moment, these agencies, travel agencies and tour operators, already have existing programs in North America, Central and South America as well. So we look at the possibility of add-ons.
If you ask me what is that Barbados has that attracts to the Chinese people, of course it's the Caribbean Sea. It's a very, very nice, very beautiful country. So many people in China know that there's a very nice, very beautiful Caribbean country named Barbados.
China presents the island with what may be viewed as a new type of client, one traditionally not seen on the island.
The Chinese visitor likes his own food. That's important. So through our investment processes, do we encourage more Chinese restaurants? I think Barbados is doing well in terms of international cuisine, but maybe there might be more to do. Or even utilize the restaurants that we have, but let them have an Asian flavor in their menu so that it caters to not only the Western taste, but also to the Asian taste. The Chinese visitor likes cultural experiences, as I said. So how do we upscale our cultural experiences? I know that there's a freedom footprints that we do. We spoke about UNESCO heritage. We have the shows at the plantation. And there are various other things going on in terms of culture. Do we probably need a more coordinated approach when we're thinking about enriching their cultural experience here in Barbados?
Our dance, the stick licking, is part of our culture as well. Although they major in martial arts, and they could appreciate the basic simplicity of Beijing stick licking. Road tennis, wonderful. They love table tennis. When I go, unfortunately I didn't do it this time, but when I go, I love to take some road tennis rackets and a little net or some kind of board made there. And I try to teach children in primary school, secondary school, some road tennis. They love it, they have fun. They love kites as well too. I think Easter would be a wonderful time to actually look at developing some different kind of kites. Chinese people love kites.
We are still doing lots of research in relation to the Chinese market. So it's basically, they're interested in golf as well. So basically, in our meetings with our tour operators, we will be looking at all these areas, all these niche markets. We will be looking at in relation to the program that will eventually come out of China.
They have the largest spending power in terms of international tourists. It's important to know what they spend on, though. They like brands. So the Lime Grove experience would appeal to them. In terms of shopping, they're shopaholics. So we need to provide amenities and areas so that that money could remain in Barbados.
Though exciting, there are challenges to developing China as a tourism market.
One of the main challenges, of course, will be the cost, the distance from China to Barbados, the cost of airfare, and therefore there are other destinations where the cost will not be so prohibitive as well. That is why we think at this time that we'll concentrate more on the add-on programs that are currently existed by tour operators who currently have programs in North America as well as South America.
Closer to China, there are places considered by the average Chinese tourist as similar with Barbados: sea, sun, beaches. So tourism may be a very important spot where we should work on. But it really, I think from both sides, there should be more aggressive advertising or publicity work to bring out more information about Barbados toward the Chinese, toward China as a potential tourism source market.
是那个建筑方面的，还是其他的所有的东西？对，我因为巴巴多斯是个人。
The visa and the long distance, that may be one of the problems that hold them back. But I think in the future, there will be more and more Chinese people coming to visit the Caribbean area.
I think it's very important from the China side that we have a facilitating environment. At the moment, there might be some visa issues in terms of processing, in terms of time, and so on, for the Chinese visitor to access travel to Barbados. Maybe that needs to, we need to take a look at that to ensure that if we're going after the market, then there are no what you call inhibitors or repellents to travel. Because if you're in a competitive environment, that visitor that has strong spending power can choose to go to another destination.
So where do we go from here?
But the way forward is basically continuing to work with the tour operators. That is key. And having joint promotional programs with the tour operators. A key area also is to have a familiarization program for tour operators, where we target about 100 agents per year to come to Barbados so that they can also see the product. Also a PR program as well, where we also bring in journalists from China into Barbados so that we can get that exposure as well in the newspapers and magazines as well.
More and more the consumer and the Chinese consumers using the social media sites. So how do we upscale our use of the social media? Which platforms do we use? Would it be TripAdvisor, you know? So we need to be very clear in terms of our distribution process. How do we get the message that Barbados is a place that welcomes you, that Barbados is a place that you would want to be, that Barbados is still an aspirational destination?
As Barbados continues its efforts to boost tourism arrivals, the size of the Chinese market alone serves as encouragement, offering further opportunities for earning increased foreign exchange.